Alright, buckle up history buffs and drama lovers, because today we're diving into a tale so wild, so utterly heartbreaking, it makes your uncle's Thanksgiving rant look like a polite tea party. We're talking about a betrayal so profound, it didn't just break a heart, it shattered an empire. And the kicker? It came from within the family. Well, technically, his nephew, but in imperial succession, that's practically a brother, right? This isn't just about war or politics, it's about trust, ambition, and how one person's bad decisions can unravel decades of greatness. Prepare yourselves for the ultimate royal family feud. First up, meet Emperor Justinian I. This guy wasn't just an emperor, he was the emperor. Think Roman Empire, but based in Constantinople, thriving, and run by a dude with a serious vision. Justinian's goal? Simple, make the Roman Empire great again. He dreamt big, he built bigger, and he fought harder. He wanted to reclaim lost territories, unite the church, and solidify the rule of law. Basically, he was out here flexing on everyone, trying to restore past glories and put his stamp on history, which, spoiler alert, he totally did, until, well, you'll see. Behind every great emperor, there's often an even greater empress, and Justinian had Theodora. Seriously, this woman was a force of nature. Starting life as an actress, possibly even a courtesan, which, let's be real, was basically the ancient world's celebrity status, she climbed to the very top. Theodora was intelligent, politically savvy, and famously brave. She was Justinian's trusted advisor, his rock, and some historians argue, she was the true power player. She navigated court politics like a boss and wasn't afraid to get her hands dirty when necessary. Basically, don't mess with Theodora. One of Justinian's crowning achievements, and frankly, one of humanity's greatest hits, was the Corpus Juris Civilis, better known as the Justinian Code. Before this, Roman law was a chaotic mess, a patchwork of old decrees and new rulings. Justinian had his legal team consolidate and clarify everything. This wasn't just a spring cleaning, it was a total legal overhaul that became the foundation for law in much of Europe for centuries, influencing everything from contract law to property rights. Basically, if you've ever signed a document, thanked a lawyer, or just wondered why laws exist, you can trace it back to this guy. Pretty big deal, huh? And then there's Hagia Sophia. Oh, Hagia Sophia. This wasn't just a church, it was Justinian's MIC drop. Built in record time after an earlier church burned down, this architectural marvel was designed to awe. Its massive dome seemed to float, letting in light that transformed the interior into a heavenly glow. It was a symbol of imperial power, religious devotion, and just pure, unadulterated architectural genius. Justinian famously said upon its completion, "Solomon, I have surpassed thee," which is peak Roman emperor energy, if you ask me. It literally screamed, "We are here, and we are glorious." So, with all this glory, who would inherit it? Enter Justin II, Justinian's nephew and adopted son. The guy was groomed for this. He was seen as loyal, capable, and a safe pair of hands. He had administrative experience, had been a consul, and was married to Sophia, Theodora's niece. All the stars aligned. Justinian had placed immense trust in him, betting that Justin II would continue his vision, protect his legacy, and basically keep the Roman dream alive. It was supposed to be a smooth transition, a continuation of greatness. What could possibly go wrong? Everything. Everything could go wrong. By the time Justinian passed away in 565 AD, the empire, while sprawling, was also stretched thin. Decades of warfare had taken a toll on the treasury, and new threats loomed on every border. But, crucially, Justinian had managed to stabilize things, secure some crucial peace treaties, and leave behind a functioning, albeit financially strained, empire. He had laid the groundwork for future prosperity, if only his successor would follow the playbook. The stage was set for either continued stability or utter disaster. Guess which one we got? Yep, the drama option. The moment Justinian's last breath left his body, The carefully constructed facade began to crack. Justin II ascended to the throne, and let's just say his inaugural acts were less continuity of vision and more destroy everything my predecessor stood for. It was like watching your favorite TV show get a new showrunner who immediately fires all the beloved characters and sets the main plot on fire. The transition was swift, but the changes, they were brutal, immediate, and would echo for centuries. The trust Justinian had placed in his chosen son was about to be utterly, spectacularly violated. Justin II's reign began with a bang, literally. His very first move. Executing two of his cousins, Justin and Praejecta. Why? Because they were potential rivals to the throne. You know, just a casual family reunion where some members don't make it to dessert. This wasn't just a power grab, it was a clear signal. The new boss was here, and he wasn't playing nice. Justinian, who had tried to maintain some semblance of imperial family harmony, probably would have choked on his grave goods. This act of cold, calculated murder was the opening salvo in Justin II's reign of terror. Next on Justin II's How to Ruin an Empire checklist, foreign policy. Justinian, ever the pragmatist, had established a peace treaty with the Avars, a powerful nomadic group on the empire's northern frontier. The cost? An annual tribute. Think of it as a subscription service for peace. Justinian paid it, because hey, peace is cheaper than war. But Justin II? He was having none of it. He dramatically announced that he would refuse to pay tribute, famously declaring, "We would rather shed our blood than allow our substance to be diminished by a tribute to those barbarian." Big talk, dude. Very big talk. Let's see how that works out. Guess what happens when you tell a powerful nomadic group that you're not paying them anymore? They don't send a strongly worded letter. They send their entire army. Justin II's bravado quickly plunged the empire into a brutal war with the Avars. This wasn't just a skirmish, it was a full-scale invasion of Byzantine territory. Suddenly, those funds Justinian had so carefully squirreled away for other projects were being burned through faster than a TikTok trend. The empire was now fighting a costly, bloody war that Justinian had actively avoided. A true I told you so moment, if the Avars spoke ancient Greek. As if one war wasn't enough, Justin II decided to open up another front, with the Sasanian Persian Empire to the east. Justinian had worked hard to maintain an uneasy peace with the Persians, often through diplomacy and, yes, sometimes payments. But Justin II, feeling confident after breaking peace with the Avars, which, let's be honest, was going terribly, provoked a war with Persia as well. Now the empire was fighting two major powers on opposite borders. Imagine trying to manage two WhatsApp group chats with your most unhinged relatives simultaneously. That's essentially what Justin II did to the Byzantine Empire. Brilliant strategy, mate. Unsurprisingly, all this warfare, financial strain, and general imperial meltdown started to take a toll on Justin II's mind. He became increasingly paranoid and mentally unstable. Court records describe him as irrational, prone to violent outbursts, and suffering from delusions. He reportedly thought he could hear voices, was chased by invisible spirits, and sometimes hid under his bed. It wasn't just bad governance, it was a full-blown mental health crisis playing out on the imperial stage. The guy who was supposed to be the steady hand turned into a walking, talking disaster movie. Not ideal for leading an empire. And here's where things get really weird. Rumors circulated that Justin II, in his darkest moments, tried to eat people. Now, historians mostly agree this was probably an exaggeration, a way to paint him as utterly insane and monstrous. But the fact that such a rumor even took hold tells you everything about his reputation. When your subjects are seriously wondering if you're going to try to nibble on them, you know you've completely lost control. It's the kind of thing that makes you wonder if he just needed a really good therapist, or maybe just a nap. Eventually, the situation became so dire that Justin II was declared unfit to rule. The grown-ups had to step in. His incredibly capable wife, Empress Sophia, remember her, Theodora's niece, and his general, Tiberius, basically formed a regency. They took over the day-to-day running of the empire, trying to clean up the monumental mess Justin II had created. It was an unofficial but absolutely necessary coup, a desperate attempt to salvage what was left of Justinian's legacy. Imagine having to literally take over the remote from your dad because he keeps changing the channel to the horror movie channel at 3 a.m. So, what about Justinian's grand vision? The Make Rome Great Again dream? Poof. Gone. Justin II's disastrous reign undid decades of hard work in just a few short years. The empire, once unified and relatively stable, was now fractured by war, financially crippled, and facing existential threats on multiple fronts. The very peace Justinian had painstakingly built was shattered. His meticulously organized finances were plundered. His vision of a reunited Roman Empire? A distant, painful memory. It's the historical equivalent of inheriting a beautiful, classic car and immediately driving it off a cliff. What a waste. The real tragedy here isn't just the empire's decline, it's the profound human element. Justinian poured his life into building a powerful, prosperous, and just empire. He chose his nephew, his adopted son, to carry that torch, believing in his loyalty and capabilities. And that trust was utterly, completely, and brutally betrayed. It's a stark reminder that sometimes, the biggest threats come not from your sworn enemies, but from those closest to you. The emotional weight of seeing your life's work systematically dismantled by someone you trusted feels universally painful, even across centuries. It's enough to make you reconsider family holiday gatherings, right? It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What if Justin II had actually followed his uncle's path? What if he'd maintained the peace, nurtured the economy, and sought wise counsel? The Byzantine Empire might have enjoyed a longer, more stable golden age. It's a historical what if that's almost painful to contemplate. One bad apple, one disastrous succession, and an entire trajectory of a civilization changed forever. It's a testament to how fragile even the mightiest empires can be when the wrong person holds the reins. And also, maybe don't leave your empire to a dude who might try to eat people. Just a thought. So there you have it, the story of Justinian I, the visionary emperor, and Justin II, his nephew whose reign became a spectacular betrayal of everything his brother stood for. It's a dramatic, dark, and utterly fascinating chapter in history, reminding us that power can corrupt, ambition can blind, and sometimes, the deepest cuts come from the hands you least expect. What do you think was Justin II's biggest mistake? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this dive into ancient drama, hit that like button, subscribe for more historical deep dives, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next story of ancient intrigue.